Talk 99.5 Talk 99.5.com, YouTube.com, Real Talk 995 TV. Check us out in all of those places. Why don't you? Don't forget, you can actually watch us on the app now as well as our video stream is popping up there. You can just listen or you can watch however you want to do it. We're good with that. We appreciate you tuning in and being a part of this 13 hours of live and local programming every single weekday. We love the hang, baby. We love the hang. Parrott Structural Services bringing you portions of today's show when your foundation starts to give way. You need to make sure that that thing's back on the up and up. It's going to be wet this weekend. If you go down into your basement, you've never seen it before, and now suddenly there's water coming in. Okay, you got a foundation problem. You need to talk to somebody about that. You need to get with Parrott Structural, and they'll come out and fix that foundation and get it to the correct level, because something has changed, obviously, and you need to get that taken care of pronto. They are licensed, they are bonded, they are insured, they're E-Verify compliant. They're the only ones I trust with my foundation. You can trust them with yours. They've done work for me on 3 separate occasions, 3 separate houses. Parrott Structural Services, 668-2626. Dry today and cloudy, 49 degrees. 49 with a 90% chance of rain tomorrow. 45 for the high on Sunday with a 90% chance of rain. By the time the rain stops, the sun goes down. 32 on Sunday, okay? So whatever kind of rain we have on the roadway at that point, hopefully it's not going to be a lot. It's going to freeze over.
Yeah.
Monday's high is 31, so it's not going to melt.
That's correct.
Yeah. So just be ready for that.
The prayer for us is, and again, dodging a major bullet, Central Alabama. Every time we look at this radar, we're just like, how is this possible? But we are. That, we start out Sunday with, upper 40s, maybe even 50 degrees, and then late in the day when the rain is about to stop, as it is moving further north and east, there is that cold front that is finally going to catch up to us, and the temperature will plummet like 20 degrees.
Plummet.
And that's the part that might get a little dicey on Monday morning. If you have to travel really early, that'll be me and April Marie and Steve West, that we really need to make sure driveways and roadways don't have moisture. If there's moisture and the rain doesn't get out fast enough and that cold comes in, it could cause some travel issues. So everybody be careful if you got to get up Monday morning and be anywhere before sunrise.
If you got the 4-wheel drive available, get
even
on.
with ice, be careful.
Yeah.
Careful.
Very good.
Yep.
It was 48 years ago this very day that Terry Kath, guitarist for Chicago, accidentally killed himself. How does that happen exactly? I read the book Street Player by Danny Serafine. He was the drummer for Chicago back in the day and a good friend of Terry Kath's. And some people say this happened at a party. Other people say it happened on the tour bus. No, and no. Danny Serafine says he was there. Terry Kath had been awake for 3 solid days, snorting coke and drinking and playing with his gun collection. He was a big gun fan. He collected 2 things, guitars and guns, kind of like me. And he, or Leland for that matter, he was messing around with the guns, and Danny, who didn't drink or do drugs at all, never has and still hasn't to this day, according to him, he said, Terry, I'm not comfortable with you messing around with these guns in your state. You're bleary-eyed because you've been awake for 3 days. B, you're high on coke. C, you're drunk. And I don't really think you should be messing with these things. At which point he expelled the magazine from a .38 and said, please, look, it's safe. It's not even loaded. Put it to his head, pulled the trigger.
No.
Forgot there was one in the chamber. Which is what cocaine will do for you, kids. Cocaine and drinking and staying awake for 3 days will do that.
The bottom line is you never point the gun at your head, even if you think it's unloaded.
Ever.
Never.
Every gun is loaded.
That's exactly how you treat it.
Is loaded.
Oh,
Every prostitute is an undercover police officer. Just in case you know.
Personal experience there?
No. Not as far as you know.
Richard.
But we literally lost one of the finest guitarists this planet has ever known. A man about whom Jimi Hendrix said, he's better than me. So there you go.
That's all you need to know.
Truly sad. It also changed the face of Chicago and wussified them completely in the 1980s, which was sad.
Did you say wussified?
Wussified.
You said wussified.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Uh-huh.
I thought you were a big fan of Chicago.
I love Chicago. I love their early stuff, and I like some of their later stuff, because they had some pretty good stuff that they came out with that
Is
never
it the
really hit
horns?
the
What do you
airwaves.
call them? The horns are wussified?
The horns were great.
Well,
It's
what
the
part
Peter
of it?
Cetera era.
It was the part where David Foster started doing all of their writing.
David Foster was in everybody's
If you see
playground.
how you look away, baby. You're a hard habit to break. Terry Kath dying is what brought all that on.
It's really
Terry Kath
sad.
passing away, killing himself,
Yeah, thanks, Terry.
destroyed the band.
See what you did?
You rat
wussified.
bastard. You rat
wussified Chicago.
bastard. You should be ashamed of yourself. May you rot in hell. No, I'm just kidding. Love you, Terry. Wish that hadn't happened. He was
It's
truly
so
an
dumb. I
amazing
mean,
guy.
think about that.
Yeah, that was a complete and utter waste. If you watched the Tiger King show, did you ever watch the?
I
Tiger
did
King?
see Tiger King. Yeah.
One of his husbands did that as well. You remember?
Yeah.
They actually had the security footage, not of him doing it because he was like out of camera range when he did it, but they were shooting the guy who watched it happen, and you see his eyes get as big as saucers. Like this dude dropped the mag, put the gun to his head, hold the trigger, one in the chamber, dead. So stupid. So stupid.
I mean, the bottom line is right. I don't care if the magazine is gone. You never. I don't. I'm uncomfortable with a play gun, like a kid pointing it at somebody. I'm like, no.
If there's one thing,
don't point it.
If there's one thing that we do learn in the South, and I learned it in Minnesota, so I can't say it's just Southern, but respect for firearms.
Absolutely.
Respect for firearms.
Probably more so than a lot of things in your life. You better respect it.
Exactly. I mean, I respect firearms more than I respect most women, just to be honest with you.
There's a shocker.
Let's do this, shall we?
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
Jack Smith was grilled on Capitol Hill yesterday about the Trump prosecutions. Democrats attempted to rehabilitate him. Republicans attempted to point out that this was really just a get Trump scenario, and that it was all sort of the man came across as weaselly and smarmy. In no way, shape, or form did he come across to me as a legit, upstanding human being who was nonpartisan, despite what he was trying to say in the issue. There were enough telltale signs, like he was going to put Cassidy Hutchinson, who was clearly lying, on the stand. He was going to put, he wanted the trial to take place 5 months after the indictment. There was no way the defense could get ready for that. He put a gag order on a man who was running for president, and it took an appeals court to come in and go, no, you're not doing that. I mean, there's just a lot of funny business there.
Yeah. I watched some of it yesterday, and Jack Smith, again, as smarmy as the day is long, he hasn't changed my mind. If anything, you feel even, different about him, that that the truth's not in him, because some of the questioning yesterday was very easy, and he's dodging around the yes and no questions, and he's just not believable in anything that he says.
All the standard nonsense.
Yeah.
Amy Buck, the former head of the nonprofit Feeding Our Future, spoke to Fox News from Sherburne County Jail in Minnesota and claimed that state officials continued approving and paying claims even after concerns were raised about potential fraud. Buck claims that both Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison were aware of widespread fraud before federal prosecutors stepped in. She said, I honestly believe that Keith Ellison and Governor Walz need to be held accountable. There needs to be an investigation. If they weren't aware, that's concerning. She said, needless to say, Keith Ellison comes out with a statement that says essentially, well, she's just trying to CYA. She's trying to cover herself. She's coming up with excuses. She got caught, and she should be ashamed of herself. I say, guys, where's the oversight? There were 1,700 tripwires built into this thing. Do you have any idea how many oversights there are? There are panels that look to see. This is why government costs so damn much, because you've got this one program that's designed to feed children, take money and feed children, and then you have an inspector general who's supposed to keep an eye on the program, and then you have an oversight that looks over the whole thing, the inspector general and the program. There have to have been about 18 people that dropped the ball here for this to have happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think there's any doubt in anyone's mind that Ellison and Tim Walz knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
They are complicit in this, and they are scared to death. And this woman is speaking out now about all of it. Amy Buck is, blowing the lid off of this. It's what we've known. He has to. The governor and the mayor of that City and Ellison, they all know what was going on, and they were complicit in it. And let's hope that this heads down a road where they nail both of them. I really hope they do.
We shall see. But yeah, either 18 people were completely and totally clueless about this, or more likely, anywhere from 1 to 6 people out of those 18 said, hold on, we need to hold on this and take a look at it because something is wrong here. And at one point, there was a hold put on stuff, but somebody else came in and said, no, that's okay, let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm thinking, despite the fact that 1 to 6 people may have seen something wrong, somebody higher up said, no, it's okay.
Well,
let it go. And that person is the one I want to talk to.
Right. How could you have all of these fake daycares and no one knew? No one drove by or happened to drive by
or bothered to say,
there's no one there ever. I noticed no one's there.
You're serving several million meals out of this place.
Right. Where are the people?
Where are the kids that are being fed? That's a lot of food
I'm not buying any of it.
No, not at all. Barron Trump swoops in to save female friend from violent ex. That's right. Barron Trump, despite the fact that he was actually in Washington, D.C., managed to save a friend of his from her ex-boyfriend in London, England. The woman, whose name we do not know, her ex we do know, Matvey Rumiantsev, was using her as a punching bag during an attack last January, according to the victim. And Barron Trump got a FaceTime call from her. And he saw the ceiling and heard her cry and then got a look at her face and a fist hitting it. And then it was gone. And he called 999, which is the British number for 911, and said, hey, listen, my friend is getting beaten up, gave the address. Get over there as fast as you can. They did. They arrested the guy. She's out of harm's way. Barron Trump to the rescue. How about that?
How about this? Even the emergency call, they had it in the courtroom, and you could hear him talking to the dispatcher.
Yeah.
And who he was and identified himself. Way to go, Barron.
Nice job.
Way to step in and not be afraid, even though you weren't even near where she was to be able to assist. He knew what to do and got her help. And, this woman, she might not be alive had it not been for Barron.
Thinking on his feet, man. And I got to tell you, the older he gets, the more he resembles a young Donald Trump.
Sure does.
I mean, it's really getting kind of scary here, except for the fact that he's like 4 inches taller than his dad.
Yeah, can you imagine?
More than 4 inches.
If he were to ever run for president, what is he? He's close to like 7 feet.
He's got to be close to 7 feet. He's got to be like 6'9" or something like that. He is huge. I mean, Trump is 6'4", maybe now 6'3". He's got the
Barron,
telescoping spine.
He towers over him.
Yeah, he absolutely does. Hilarious. 819 Dixon and Vining, 545-9950 if you'd like to chime in. Yes, sir.
Barron Trump listed as 6'9".
6'9".
Wow. That's very tall.
He's someone we can all look up to. Diesel from the album Watts in a Tank. A little Sausalito summer night. One-hit wonder from the 1970s. Good one. Talk 99.5, talk995.com. We blew a gasket on the Grapevine and $80 on repair. It was a quainter time where $80 would fix your car.
Phew.
They won't even look at it for $80
gasket,
now. Yeah.
Places are charging more than that for an oil change.
Exactly.
You're like, what?
Yeah.
How much?
Mm.
I learned how to do this myself.
8:23 with Dixon and Vining. Talk 99.5, talk995.com.
Oh, my goodness. Talking about money, whether it's things like oil changes, things have gone up in price, no doubt about it. When we talk about later on retiring and having to save some of that money and how we're going to put it away and how we're going to invest it, I want to encourage you to do something this weekend, especially with the weather the way that it's going to be. From 2 to 3, either Saturday or Sunday, flip on Talk 99.5 and check out the Knowles Group. These guys have a great, very informative show that's just an hour long. Give it an hour so that you can get to know these guys and find out what they're all about with customizing plans, financial plans for your future. That's what they're so good about. And there's a lot of things that go into that planning. We think a lot of times what comes to mind, I need to put some money into 401k, and is it stocks or bonds, and what's the percentage I need to put these to? Well, at certain ages, at certain points in your life, that kind of changes and fluctuates. These guys are so good at that, putting together the plan, because there are a lot of pieces to the puzzle, and not all of us are in this wheelhouse every day, and we may need a little help and guidance, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially from somebody that looks at this every single day and knows what they're doing and can maximize that growth. That's what it's all about with the Knowles Group, and we love Danny Knowles and the Knowles Group, and we want you to get to know them as well. So listen to their show this weekend, and then maybe get in touch with them and let them put this plan together. The Knowles Group, Knowles, theknowlesgroup.com. That's their website, theknowlesgroup.com.
Jeff, joke of the day. Ready?
Give it to us. Yes.
A genie gave me one wish. I said, I just want to be happy. Now I'm living with 6 dwarves and working in a mine. Thank God you didn't ask to be sleepy.
It was a better joke than the movie.
Steve pointing at me. He's trying to reason why he gave him that.
Somebody who's nameless.
That's pretty funny.
Sends in, check out Boston's lead singer suicide method. I know.
Oh, yeah, Brad Delp.
Brad Delp lit a couple of charcoal grills in his camper.
Folks, come on.
Yeah, well, he left a suicide note. He did that on purpose.
Yeah.
It's
on
not like-
purpose.
Yeah, he just couldn't.
But, I'm thinking about this, and thank goodness not for us, but other people that are going to do stupid things through this awful snowstorm and winter storm that's coming across our country, like putting generators and things like that in places they really don't belong. And then, you hear about people passing away because they're desperate to stay warm. It's
Happens
like,
all the
man,
time.
y'all be careful.
Well, and the sad thing is that we have to say that when we know that it's going to be cool. For example, out of Talladega, we got a lot of campers that are out there, and they will do stuff like that. They'll put something like that in their tent or in their RV, and we have had people that passed away because of it.
Hard no, people.
No.
It's exhaust.
Anything with
inhale-
exhaust.
Yes, come on. Carbon monoxide.
No.
It'll kill you. Mike says, good morning, folks. Love the show. Just realized the length of time delay in the airwaves. I was listening on my phone, got home and turned on YouTube TV, and heard the exact commentary roughly 10 minutes later.
That's possible.
And we just repeat ourselves a lot.
Yeah, over and
That's
over
what's
and
really
over.
going on here. Actually, I don't know. I've watched YouTube. It doesn't seem like it's that far behind. It is behind by
little bit.
a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes seems a little unusual.
He maybe needed to forward his YouTube TV.
You can do that, by
Maybe
the
we
way.
were,
Yeah, a lot of times you can fast forward on that and catch up. You're not going to get all the way up, but you'll get pretty close.
Well, thanks for listening, Mike, and watching.
Oil change for my Peterbilt, says Ron, $975.35.
Excuse me?
$975.
$975, almost
Yeah.
$1,000 for an oil
Yeah,
change.
for a rig, yeah.
Which begs the question, how's your Peterbilt? Jeff.
You didn't.
What?
He did.
Steve. Thank you, Steve, says Jeff. He's
Ah, yes.
appreciating the rim shot because he knows the joke was lame. He's aware of it. He was just
It
trying to
wasn't
help.
Jeff's best, but we appreciate you bringing the joke.
I never said it was
Now
his
try
best.
harder, Jeff.
I never said it was his best, no.
Patrick says, I was listening to Follow for Now, Pain, and 2U last night. 2NU
What?
last night. I don't know who 2NU is. How about a Steve's turn about defunct bands that just disappeared? Don't try to tell
God,
Steve.
how long do you have?
Are
tell
you
Steve
giving
what to
Steve a
do.
topic?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Don't tell Steve what to do. He doesn't like that.
And how can I do research on bands that disappeared? I don't know where to find them.
Now
point.
Dixon needs to come in and the two beautiful ladies off. What?
In other
'cause
words,
you're off
taking
Monday?
off Monday.
Yeah.
He's
You
saying
need to come in.
you should be in and the two ladies should be off.
Wow, that'd be nice. Yeah, right. That's exactly right, Patrick. What are we thinking?
Patrick, nobody wants to
Ava
see
Marie
me.
and I are going to sleep in.
Nobody
You
wants
come in
to
and
see
do the
me
show.
on YouTube TV.
Oh, yes, they do.
No, they want to see you guys
I'm sorry, aren't you there right now?
on YouTube
Yeah.
TV. George says, I went up through Pennsylvania after this last Christmas, went right by the Turkey Hill ice cream plant. They have a Turkey Hill experience where you can make your own ice cream. Didn't do that. It's near Amish country. I did go to the Shady Maple Smorgasbord, world's largest buffet. Really good, really big. I'd recommend if you ever are up near Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Lancaster.
Lancaster. Come on, everybody. It's Lancaster
No.
here in Alabama.
Depends on where you're from,
Lancaster.
isn't it?
Lancaster.
Yeah.
My
Lancaster.
knowledge of pronunciation of Lancaster and Reading made me a lot of money because there was a Pontiac dealership in that area. Nobody else could get it right. So
Mhm.
they brought me in to do the voiceover for their TV ads. For a couple of years, I did all their ads, made a nice chunk of change every
because
time
you could say it properly.
because I knew how to say Lancaster and I didn't have to think about it. My mom came from that neck of the woods. She lived in Lancaster and Reading for a while with her
Mhm.
parents on a farm. And so that's how I learned the pronunciation.
Lancaster.
Yeah, Lancaster.
Pennsylvania.
Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
No, Lancaster. Here we go.
And my chicks for free.
Mm-hmm.
You wanna run cool?
Mark Knopfler.
Run cool.
Brothers in Arms. Not their best album, but their best-selling album, interestingly. Had the biggest number of hits off of it. But, when it comes to Dire Straits, just give me Romeo and Juliet, and I'm a happy camper. That is like the best song they ever wrote or ever did.
Romeo and Juliet.
Not that one.
Okay.
If you
Different
haven't heard the Dire Straits version of Romeo and Juliet, you need to go look it up. The Killers did a version of. They loved it so much. The Killers, when they were kids, there's two brothers in that band. They used to listen to that on a tape in their family van, and they would just lay there and talk about how cool. Like they're 12, 11 years old. It's gonna be so cool. We're gonna have a band one day. We're gonna play this song, and they did. They formed a band, the Killers, and they recorded a version of Romeo and Juliet. A lot of people didn't know Dire Straits did it first. It's a great song.
Dire Straits, great.
837 Talk 99.5, talk995.com. And here's a really cool and interesting story. You would have to be on certain social media and following certain people to know this story, because I went to search engines and tried to look it up, and no news organization is reporting it. They may get to it eventually, but they're not reporting it right now. And I'm not sure that CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, the New York Times, or the Washington Post will ever report it. And once you hear the story, you'll understand why. Back the Blue is an organization that is very much in favor of police, hence the name Back the Blue. They love the police. And they want to do right by the police, and they do what they can for police whenever they can. Anytime that there's an anti-police protest, you can count on Back the Blue coming out and mounting a counter-protest, sometimes with larger numbers, sometimes with smaller. It's made up largely of retired police officers, retired intelligence officers, veterans, basically a lot of law and order abiding people who really think that the police officers and law enforcement officers deserve more respect and support and attention. So this is what they're doing in Minnesota and Minneapolis specifically right now. I love this. They've managed. Okay, first thing you have to know is that there is a hotline that has been set up by anti-ICE protesters. And if you spot ICE in your neighborhood, you call the hotline and you say, they're at 56th and Wabasha. Mm-hmm. ICE is coming in here, and protesters will converge on the area and start blowing whistles and blowing air horns and showing up and bothering people, essentially trying to get in ICE's way, getting shot, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all the stuff that ICE protesters do. So Back the Blue said, well, here's what we're going to do. First off, we're going to dilute the phone calls that are coming in, because we are going to call in hundreds and hundreds of locations to these people. And it got to the point where for every one actual call, there were 3 fake calls, okay, from these folks Back the Blue. But more importantly than that, they got all these retired police officers and veterans and folks to put on their black jackets, in some cases law enforcement jackets, and get in their black SUVs and their black cars, and they would pick an area specifically, like, say, I don't know, an area around an anti-ICE protester's house. Mm-hmm. And they would call this hotline and they would say, ICE is headed toward 7th and Nicollet Avenue. Mm-hmm. And all the anti-ICE protesters would
go there,
would jump in their vehicles, and they'd go and they'd be like, oh, there's the black SUVs, follow the black SUVs. And then the guys would show up, and all these anti-ICE protesters would come out, and they'd start blowing whistles, and they'd start blowing horns. And then the anti-ICE protester who lived in the house would come out and go, what the hell are you people doing? Why are you here? Meanwhile, ICE is many, many blocks away in another part of town, actually doing their job without protesters there, because they have now been so boondoggled. They're at the point now where they don't know which calls are real and which calls are not real.
That is awesome.
I mean,
I love that.
I got to give props to Back the Blue. And the reason why it's not being talked about is I know that CNN couldn't possibly tell this story and hide their contempt for the people who are doing this. There's no way that they could do this and be like, these are terrible people. Because all they're doing is exactly what the opposite side would be doing if the roles were reversed, you know?
Exactly.
They're essentially confusing, and it's not that hard to confuse anti-ICE protesters. Let's face it.
No, it's not.
They're just pulling the wool over their eyes and playing a little shell game with them.
This is what probably needed to happen because you've got these ICE agents that are out there and they're trying to push back on the protesters because they're blocking roadways, they're blowing whistles that you mentioned, and they're impeding what they're supposed to do. And if you can use another tactic to deter them to another location, well, then you're free of any protesters to knock out what it is you need to do.
Exactly.
It's still head shaking why they would do this.
I'm mystified as to why
other than you're making
to,
money, you're getting paid to be a protester or an agitator.
And I think that has a lot to do with it.
You know, deep down, is this really how you feel? No, they're paying me, $50 an hour to do this. I'm going to do it. Well, go get a real job rather than doing this, working against your own community.
The folks that have been on the ground, news people that have been there, Laura Ingraham went there specifically, but there have been some other local news reporters, not from here, but doing news reports. I kind of scour the web and find these things. And they all say the same thing. These protests are much smaller than they look on TV.
Yes, absolutely. If you've seen some of the activity where they pull the cameras back, you're looking at 30, 40, maybe 50 people in some instances that are all a part of this. And it's just enough. It's an aggravation for these ICE agents because then their attention is paid to them because, what are they getting ready to do? I mean, attack us? What's going to happen here?
Your natural instinct in the TV business is to frame the shot up so that it's full.
Right.
In the same way that we're not showing you parts of the studio we're not in on YouTube.
Well, you don't really want to see it. It's very trashy.
It is. It's really ugly. It's nasty. There's refuse everywhere, insects.
Some bugs.
Yeah.
We're not joking about that part.
Human feces. It's just
terrible. No, there's none of that.
To the phones we go where Will the Chubb Father is standing by. What's up, Chubbs?
Will!
What's happening, y'all? Hey, man, look, I just wanted to call real fast and give a huge thank you to the Talk 99.5 listening audience as a whole. I can easily estimate that probably about a third of all of our breakfast guests this week so far have been listeners of the show. Now, some of them obviously live in our area.
Yeah.
But there have been people traveling to come and see us, so much so that we were going to wait a few weeks to open on Saturdays. We're going to open on Saturday, tomorrow.
Wow.
Well, Will, for people that don't know, back up, just go, back up, because everybody knows you as one of the world's greatest burger places, but you're doing something brand new. So people that don't know what's going on, tell them what you're doing.
We kicked off breakfast this past Monday.
Yep.
We are doing we did our best to keep it with the theme of our brand new $7.99 value meals that we launched for lunch and dinner, which coincidentally the national average price for a meal that size is $10.50. We're selling them to you at $7.99. Lots of great breakfast stuff: fresh corned beef and hash, biscuits and gravy, various breakfast sandwiches, some pancake breakfast burritos,
the 007
pancake tacos. Yeah, the 007 big breakfast, and that's another one. The all-star breakfast at Waffle House right now: 2 eggs, hash browns or grits, toast, and a waffle is $12.39. 2 eggs anyway, hash browns or grits, and a pancake and toast at Chubb Father's, $8.99.
Oh,
woo!
Killing it. You're killing it, man.
Well, I've seen the food on social media.
Looks really good.
And, of course, I regret the fact that I work mornings, so I can't be there. But we are going to make that happen. You can come up here and bring food anytime, but I know you got to stay down there and kind of.
I'm going to absolutely do that here in the next week or two for sure.
Excellent. Very much look forward to it. I know everything you make is great, so you don't have to. Don't ask for orders. Just bring what you think we'll like.
And for folks that maybe want to come get breakfast, what are the hours? When can they get in there?
We open at 6:30 Monday through Friday. We go till 10 o'clock on in the morning. Coincidentally, if you want a cheeseburger at 6:30 in the morning or a fish plate at 6:30 in the morning, the lunch and dinner menu is also available.
Nice.
For breakfast.
That's great.
And then, like I said, on Saturday we were going to open from 7:30 to 10:30. So
Right.
thanks for all the support. Thanks for letting me thank everybody. And I love and appreciate you guys. And thanks, Steve, for coming out to the preview with the beautiful bride on Sunday. Sorry I didn't get to talk to you, but you guys had plenty of orders that I needed to cook and fill.
You were absolutely slammed with the preview, but hey, man, we appreciate it, and it was fantastic.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
Right
are
on.
you going to be like
All right, well,
McDonald's when you get to 10 o'clock? Are you going to be like McDonald's? You go, breakfast is over, man.
No, this week we've had several people walk through the door at 10:05, 10:10, and say, "Hey, can I still get breakfast?" And I mean, unless I'm just out of something,
Right.
We've run through it. No, man, if you walk through the door at 10:10, I'm gonna serve you breakfast.
You aim to accommodate.
That's
We
awesome.
appreciate you, man. Thank you, Will.
I appreciate y'all. Be great.
Thank you, Will.
Congrats on the new meal. That's
go
fantastic.
see him. That is Chubb Fathers down in Alabaster.
Yeah, boy.
Serving now breakfast. Go check them out.
You know everything the guy makes is fantastic. I've
It's
never
good
had a
stuff.
bad meal ever. And at the Christmas, was it the Christmas dealio? No, it was the Jawbone Jam. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was Christmas
it was the
because you had that
Christmas deal,
sandwich.
Yeah, the Vulcan.
Yeah, the Vulcan. You kept saying, "Go get
my
this, Val."
God, that thing was just outrageous.
That's good
It
stuff.
was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Is he putting crack in the food? What is he doing?
I don't know, but
How
it's
does he
good
do it?
stuff. But that's nice to know. I mean, now you can. I'm sure it's more hours for him to work, but still,
Yeah.
people are always looking for a great breakfast place, and that's a darn good deal.
I've helped him cook. We were at that burger competition a few years ago. They haven't repeated it because they know Chubb Fathers is going to win again, so they don't bother.
Mhm.
But I've helped him cook. I can't figure out what's the secret, what he's doing that is so. I'm like, he doesn't seem to be doing anything different than me. How come his food tastes so much better? I don't have any answers. Truly amazing. 847 with Dixon and Vining. Your texts coming up next. I'm sorry, Mr. West, you have a terrible case of dishwalla. It's incurable. There's nothing we can do for you.
Terminal?
Terminal
You
dishwalla.
can't wash
Okay.
that off?
No.
No? Good hot shower will take care of it, huh?
Waiter, the lady would like a large plate of dishwalla, please. I'll have the dishwalla cocktail.
You never know what you're going to come out with. Mm-hmm.
Aqua Systems is the best water on earth, just the H, the 2, and the O. And you know what? They can handle your well as well. You know, we got a lot of listeners who live on dirt roads. They have wells on their property, which, is sort of, I'm envious because it's like, well, you're not really paying for the water because you're just pumping it up, But the water's not great. Sometimes well water is the best stuff on earth. Sometimes well water is unbelievable. Way too often full of rust, full of hardness, chemicals, ground chemicals that leach in. Not good. You need something to get all that stuff out of there. A water treatment system from Aqua Systems. They've yet to run across a well that can beat them. They've yet to run across a well that they haven't been able to treat the water properly and get it where it needs to go. And that is truly amazing stuff because these guys are dedicated to what they do. And they can give you a no-obligation presentation, just a little demonstration on how their water is so incredibly good and how they get it there. I've experienced this, but I haven't experienced the well version of it. And boy, oh boy, when you see your rusty well water turn perfectly clear, perfectly soft, and perfectly delicious, it's almost like a magic trick has taken place in front of your eyes. You got to call these guys, 383-3999, 383-3999, iwantgreatwater.com to find out more. iwantgreatwater.com. Aqua Systems, best water on the planet. Mark says, good morning, Richard and Valerie. Are y'all going to watch Alex Hanold attempt the tallest urban climb in Taiwan live tonight on Netflix? He's climbing Taiwei 101, which is over 1,600 feet tall.
Wow. Impressive. No, I don't really have plans for that.
I was not planning on it, but I might now.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I know it's there, I might actually catch that. I mean, watching a guy climb an incredibly tall building, chance that he could fall off, plummet to his death. What's not to love?
Really?
I mean,
got to entertain yourself somehow.
Why else would you watch?
Go have
If there was no chance of him falling, you wouldn't watch, would you? It's a little bit
I don't
like
know if that I would watch either way,
if you
whether
knew-
he fell or didn't fall.
if you knew Evel Knievel was going to make the jump every time, you wouldn't watch. He was as
No,
death-defying.
the canyon jump was different. We really weren't sure what was going to happen with that.
No, I mean,
what I mean?
the Caesar's Palace jump was, we didn't know it was going to happen. We didn't know he was going to
No,
slide into the parking garage and break 200 bones.
The canyon was like, woo, woo. Yeah. See, that's what we were
Sorry,
thinking.
had a slight malfunction.
The
The Las
sky
Vegas
cycle.
thing, it's not as exciting as the canyon.
Oh, no, I think the
Did
Vegas
he have a
thing was
parachute
pretty
on
the
the bike, on him, going over the Grand Canyon?
Oh, yeah. It wasn't the Grand Canyon.
Wasn't
it was
it the Grand Canyon?
no.
Snake
What am I
River
thinking?
Canyon.
Snake River Canyon.
That's what it
Yeah,
was.
and the chute deployed early, which was the problem.
Yeah.
That was
I guess
the
you couldn't
failure.
do that over the Grand Canyon. It's too far apart.
Well, there was a segment of the Grand Canyon that his son Robbie Knievel jumped.
Oh.
It
Maybe
was
that's
on
what I'm
on
thinking of.
Indian land because otherwise he couldn't get any sort of agreement from the U.S.
Y'all
government.
know way too much about this.
Isn't that
I
scary?
can't remember whether it was Grand Canyon or Snake River.
Oh, come on.
You guys are
Anytime
like,
the
"Oh,
wide
it's
world of sports
fun."
said Evel Knievel this weekend, that was appointment viewing.
Yeah.
Sure it was.
If you have not seen there's like a 4-part documentary that A&E did on him that is absolutely amazing about how he
See how I get them on the
managed to
Evel
get
Knievel
going.
Road.
He
Thanks.
would
Welcome.
call these tracks, these dirt tracks, and he'd be like, "Hey, listen, I got a kid here. He's amazing. He can jump over 3 school buses on a motorcycle. He'll do it during like a lull between races." And the guy's like, "What? A guy's going to jump over? What are you talking about?" He goes, "No, it's amazing. People line up for miles for this thing. You got to see it." Of course, no one's lining up for miles. No one ever seen this guy before. He's talking about himself in the third person while he's booking himself.
Right.
Then he goes out. He gets the booking. He goes out and he starts handing out leaflets. Watch Evel Knievel jump over 3 school buses. That was the beginning of it. He later was doing like 20 school buses, much later on. And he goes out and he just marketed the hell out of himself. He got himself on the morning shows on TV by calling him and saying, "Hey, there's got a guy that's going to be," and he would pack the stands.
Yeah.
And once the stands were packed, these guys who ran these races were like, "You got to get this kid Evel Knievel. He's amazing." And they all know each other. So little by little, he began to build this reputation until finally he got on the wide world of sports for the first time. And once you saw that, you couldn't turn away. There's a guy on a motorcycle jumping buses. What's not to love about that? That's like as testosterone as you can get.
Well,
Jump
and
on the fountain
again,
at Caesar's Palace.
here we are as kids on our little silly bicycles building bike ramps.
Yep.
Remember that? I mean,
Because
everybody
we all wanted to be
had a
Evel
bike
Knievel.
ramp, and we were,
Absolutely.
phew, broken arm, broken ankle, broken whatever.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Frank Gifford told the story about how he was supposed to jump, I think it was 14 buses at Giant Stadium once. And he had been out drinking all night the night before, which is funny for a guy who would always do. He'd wear the red, white, and blue suit, and he'd always grab the microphone before the jump and be like, kids, stay away from drugs, stay in school, learn a thing or two.
And meanwhile,
he'd been out last night with
pounding
two
it.
hookers, smoking joints and drinking beer like nobody's business,
Yeah.
but he sold the whole Americana shtick,
And the kids didn't know. So
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, way to go, Evel
Right,
Knievel.
right.
Keep
He
the kids
seemed
off
like
drugs.
he was straightforward and clean. So he shows up in the broadcast booth as they're just finishing up the ramps, and he's hung over like nobody's business. And he looks down and he goes, I'm not going to make that. And Gifford goes, you want us to call it off? And he goes, nah, hell, everybody's already got tickets. They're going to tune in. I'll do it. And he didn't make it. He was right. He didn't make it. He screwed up that jump, and the back wheel hit the edge of the ramp, and he went down, and he broke his pelvis that time.
I remember that.
He called it, though. He knew.
Yeah, he was like, hell, I can't make
No.
that. Well, why did
Even
you
drunk,
does
he knew he
that?
couldn't do
Right.
it.
Who does that? But he was like, I need the money.
Why
I got
did
to
you
do
say
this.
you could do it?
It's like getting in a boxing match with somebody you know you can't defeat.
Yeah,
Yeah, I need the money.
amazing.
That was Evel Knievel.
Why don't you do a remote show from there and have some breakfast, says Tommy, talking about Chub Fathers. Well, the minute he pays us for that, we'll do it. I live on a little private lake. As a kid, we built a ramp on the end of the pier, tied milk jugs to the back, ran down through the yard, jumped off the end of the pier. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see
everybody
that.
did crazy stuff. They did it onto a slip and slide. Like you had a ramp, and then
Oh,
the
man.
bike would hit the slip and slide, and you go down the hill.
Dixon, how do you pronounce Montpelier? That's how.
Just like you did.
Just remember, you can't fight destiny, because if you do, you'll also have to fight the bouncers and the other strippers, too. Thank you, Brian.
See what we do every time we do the Jeff joke of the
I
day?
mean,
Huh?
Destiny is
See what
tough,
it leads
but
to?
Bubbles and Cinnamon are tougher than you think they are. They'll take you right down.